One of the greatest things I've seen so far has been Elon Musk, who you gotta hand it to Elon Musk. He does some things that are pretty good. And having the state-sponsored label slapped onto the NPR piece is, I think, incredible. Now, a couple of things here. Is there anything unconstitutional or wrong with state-sponsored propaganda? Well, the first issue that one would have to look at initially is to ask yourself the question, what is propaganda? And what is state-sponsored? What does that even mean? You could argue that CBS is state-sponsored. Does that mean, propaganda? Does that mean that you merely agree with? Was Fox News propaganda during the Trump administration? That's a very difficult thing to do. So that word legally and idealistically does not apply. It's not a good idea. It's not a good fit. It's something that just doesn't seem to work. But the most important part is for people finally to understand the notion of what this First Amendment is, and most importantly, and this is what I want you to understand. The First Amendment prohibits the entanglement, if you will, between the government impeding upon your speech, the government, either the federal government, state government, or the like. That's the critical part. That's the essence of this. Lionel merchandise available. Now, one of the greatest aspects so far is to recognize this, and this is kind of around the corner kind of analysis, but let me see if I can explain this to you. It works something like this. Do you understand that there is a, how do I say this? There is an actual, I'm going to use this term again, a shadow government that uses various institutions to promote its agenda. The shadow government will use Bill Gates to promote either vaccine proliferation, vaccine protocols, and the like. Look at what's happening right now about how the shadow government is enlisting the help of Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan to institute and to actually suggest eminent domain and to presage and predict bank collapse and the like. Do you see what is happening with that? Do you recognize what's happening? It's very critical, very important, very, very, very important that you grasp this, that you see this. You must understand how this thing works. You get apparatchiks. Before the shadow government utilizes and has utilized Silicon Valley and the social media platforms to shutter, to quiet, to quell, to destroy, to truncate, to limit, to censure, to destroy the applicability and the availability of free speech. Do you see how this is working? It's critical that you understand this, critical that you recognize this. And it's brilliant because the shadow government backs up and says, this, first of all, nobody knows they're there, that's why they're in the shadows, but they will say, this is nothing but private industry, private concerns, stating their own private thoughts, their private ideas, their private ideations, their own independent thought. And if they want to shutter, close, censor, shut down somebody, it's their doing because they're just private individuals. Okay, you know and I know and we know that that's not the way that is. That in essence, social media platforms are modern day or new versions of communication utilities. They're like having the phone company turn off your phone because they don't like the essence of what you're saying. Think about that. You wouldn't tolerate that. You wouldn't say, well, it's AT&T, it's Verizon. They can do whatever they want. No, you would say, hey, you're a phone company. That's the attitude you should have had regarding social media. So then later on, social media decided we're going to label people state-sponsored. And what does that mean? That means that you're propaganda. And when you're not just state-sponsored, but you're state-sponsored Russia, or you're state-sponsored China, it makes you sound almost like some foreign agent. You're state-sponsored. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? State-sponsored. Be alert. And to have your name, and underneath your name, state-sponsored. You're an agent. Oh, my God. Me individually? That's right. So let's see if Elon, I don't know what the word is, whether he's going to take people who write for NPR. I don't even know this. I don't know if that's true. But people who are just involved in it to see whether indeed they are considered to be almost like agents of whatever it is. Do you understand that? Do you understand? And when brought to their attention, they say, we just want full disclosure. We're not doing anything that's unfair. We're not doing anything that's improper. We're not doing anything that's unfair. We're merely trying to show people that we are right. You got that? You see how that works? What a bunch of crap that is. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. It defies anything I can even... So now Elon Musk, and no matter what you say about this guy, I love this guy. He's done more to level out the playing field, and he sees this. Because NPR not necessarily is state-sponsored propaganda, but it is agenda-driven. If NPR was about guns, ammo, flags, God, church, family, military, low taxes, they'd say this is a right-wing propaganda front, and they would scream and demand that funding stop immediately. That's exactly what it is, but from the, quote, other direction. And let me leave you with this, and I want you to understand this. Please stop using the terms left and right, liberal, progressive, conservative. That's not what we're talking about. The distinction in who these people are bigger than anything you have ever seen. It's far more insidious and far more pervasive. And we'll talk about that more. That's why you should subscribe to this channel, like this video, and make sure you always comment as you see fit.